Welcome to all my friendly speedsters. It's been a while on my channel, but today I have one of my closest friends and another official fanboy, I think now, Ryan, aka the Magic Lasso, for another episode of the Fanboy Retro Review. Holy cow. We are missing the three others. I know they all had other engagements, so family and everything else comes first. I'm joined by Baby Flashpoint and then Doggo Flashpoint over there. And how are you, Ryan?
I'm doing awesome. How are you? Is it hot enough for you?
It is 100 degrees. I'm waiting for winter already. I love the winter. Cold
Woo!
as it be there.
Yeah, I'm not so much the biggest winter fan, but these temps have been a little hard on me.
You can always, everyone's Lasso is a furry. You can always, I always go by the philosophy, you can always add clothes. You can't take them off.
Well, you can. It just depends, if you have a pole and if you have glitter and if you have someone making it rain money.
Yeah, but I mean, going down to the local Walmart and taking your pants off because it's too hot, I don't think a lot of people would be okay with that.
Whatever gets you. Sometimes the person just needs attention.
Yep. Oh, I agree, and it seems like a lot of people are needing attention from what the news is nowadays.
Apparently so. What's new in your world? So it's good to have you back on Fanboys.
Not much. Just dealing with medical stuff and dealing with the family. Having a new baby's been stressful, really, really stressful actually. But me and the wife are making it through it. The wife just went back to work last week, and this was her second week at work. She's only working 3 days as a nurse, so it's going good. I mean, we're doing everything that we can with my eyes and everything else to try and make it work. Comic reading has been really hard. I'm still submitting comic books to CGC. Other than that, I mean, I've kind of dropped out of the hobby. I don't really pick very much up in new comic book day. I plan on doing a charity giveaway, like a bunch of I think around about 100 boxes to a bunch of different people in the community and trying to get everything taken care of. But other than that, not much. What about you?
I'm doing good. It's been busy. I never bought a lot of new comic books to start out with, although in the last couple months, I think I've been swayed a little bit from watching other YouTubers. Like, for example, I bought my very first ever Nightwing comic book a couple days ago.
Oh, is that the Walmart version?
Nope. This is the second printing of 79.
Oh.
But that cover is so good that I couldn't resist it. And my LCS told me, they said Nightwing is one of the best books that DC is publishing right now.
See, which is crazy because when you look at like what they were doing towards the end before Future State, like Rick Grayson, it was so bad. So it's crazy to see that shift of it going from the worst book that DC was writing to now one of the best. I mean, I've heard a lot of good things that DC's releasing, though. I mean, the Flash has been. I still pick up the Flash. I have my LCS in New York. They ship it to me, every few weeks when they get them. And the Flash has been terrible, and Wonder Woman's been good. I mean, DC, as much as a lot of people want to be negative, including me about Future State, I think the newer writers, like, I don't care for Yara Flor, but I mean, there's a lot of good coming from Future State and a lot of good writers.
Yeah. And, everyone said that Future State was going to be this horrible event. And it wasn't as bad as what people claimed that it was going to be.
I mean, it was still bad, though. It wasn't what I thought.
Parts of it. Parts of it.
Well, and I mean, before all of my eyesight stuff kind of took a drastic turn, it's like I feel like how everyone you mentioned your LCS is Nightwing is the best book they're writing. I've heard that the Joker has been going like the best thing that's ever been written from DC.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
and cool. I haven't read any of it, so I don't even know.
I came close to buying. There was a comic shop that had an exclusive on issue number 1. It was Neil Adams' homage cover. The one where Joker's holding Batman on the card, that classic cover? It was the reverse of that. Where Batman is holding Joker on the card, and Neil Adams did the homage too. He homaged himself. And then I found out, I almost bought that, and then I found out that they were doing the first 5 issues as exclusives. And I thought, if it would have just been issue 1, it would be in my PC right now. but I just didn't want to commit to 5 at this time.
It's so hard though. It's really hard to do that because when you think, everything is getting exclusive nowadays. The one, I mean, it's Marvel, so I mean, we don't talk about that here. But Star Wars: The Bounty Hunters. I love Star Wars. I've been a huge Star Wars nerd since I was a kid. Went as Anakin 6 years in a row for Halloween. Huge Star Wars buff, so I picked up some of the exclusives for the War of the Bounty Hunters, and comics are getting ridiculous with all the variants. It seems like every book getting released, and it doesn't even matter. It's like something is killing the children. Like I collect those books, and was reading those, and every book has 50 variants that you have to look for, and it's getting too much.
Yeah, I understand that. So, being a Wonder Woman collector, last January, I went through that with issue 750, and there were 50 plus variants just for that issue. And I thought, well, we're kind of beyond that now. Well, this year, of course, is her 80th anniversary. And we already had a slew of covers for those that happened in the Future State titles. Now we're getting a bunch of covers for issue 1 for Wonder Woman Black and Gold, which are some amazing covers, I will say. And there's a Wonder Woman 80th anniversary special coming out in the fall. And I think we're going to get a slew of those too, if not a whole bunch more decade ones. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this again.
Yeah, especially, I went through that with the Flash 750 when they did theirs too. I mean, I did pick up a couple of exclusives for you on that Black and Gold because I saw them, and you had to have these. I know you're gonna love them when they get here. I'm always trying to pick up some stuff when I can. But what are we reviewing tonight? Like, what are we? You tell us what we're reviewing tonight, because you kind of.
I want to jump real quick too, because I got a couple DC news for the week.
Okay.
Not a lot of stuff, but I don't want to skip this for one important reason, which I'll tell you what, I'll save to the end. How about that? Okay. So here's some news that I read. In September, there's a new Aquaman called Aquaman the Beginning 6-issue limited series about Young Justice's Jackson Hyde. And this is going to be done, I guess I wasn't aware of this, even though I knew that DC had just done some Pride variant covers, and they did a Pride issue, but they're having their own Pride imprint. So Aquaman the Beginning 6-issue limited series will be on DC's Pride offshoot. So that's interesting. So Michael, are you afraid of Darkseid?
Oh no, it depends on what he's doing to our universe, but it could be.
Well, that's going to be the question, because that's going to be a title of a one-shot coming out for Halloween, for October this fall, from DC that they announced. Are You Afraid of Darkseid is going to be the name of the book. So that's interesting.
That is.
Yeah. So Deathstroke, Deathstroke Inc. is a book that has been announced, and now we finally know the creative team behind it. And I think one of these names is going to ring a bell for you. Joshua Williamson is going to be the writer.
That's going to be amazing. See, I loved his Flash run, and honestly, it's my second favorite run of the Flash, behind Carlin Infantino and everything else. But his Justice League stuff was not very good, and I hate to say that, because I talked to him and I emailed back to him every once in a while, and it's just I hope that I feel like Deathstroke will be a character that he can do good with.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Howard Porter will be the artist for this, but the creative team's been announced. And speaking of Joshua Williamson, I guess he did an interview where he said that if 5G would have happened at DC, he was done with DC. He was leaving.
Yep, because he is making a killing in the indie market. He is doing a lot of indie writing and everything else, and so yeah.
So he also said in this interview too, they didn't have anything for him. So if 5G would have happened, DC would have lost that creative talent. So that's interesting. Few other news notes to get to. We were talking about Nightwing a little bit before. In 2017, they announced a Nightwing movie, and there hasn't been a lot discussed about this movie since. There is one little minor update, according to Chris McKay. I believe he's the director of that. He says Nightwing is not shelved. So they haven't done any casting yet. He says the movie's still going to happen. And he also said, whoever gets cast, be prepared that he's going to be like a drill sergeant because he's not using a lot of CGI on his action stunt. So that's interesting.
See, Nightwing. Did you watch the Teen Titans show?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't, did you?
It was okay. The ending. See, the whole all of these shows have been weird for me because like the Arrowverse, how they did Deathstroke in the Arrowverse was really weird and really off-putting for me. Hey, Christy.
Hi, Christy.
And it was one of those things where it was kind of really weird for me how they did the Deathstroke as a Green Arrow villain. So I was like, well, and it wasn't bad. They did a good job, but I was like, that was such a lot of. I felt like I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. I think that they did good with what they had. I'm just interested to see. I feel like Nightwing would have been good to be entered into the Teen Titans show instead of a movie first.
Yeah. Other news I got. Did you ever read Fables?
Yep.
So what did that run, like 150 issues, something like that?
I think so.
Well, Fables is coming back to DC. So that's been announced, a 12-issue limited series that will be part of DC's Black Label. And when you're launching, or in this case, relaunching something, you know what you need if you're DC? You got to put Batman in that sucker, right? So Batman versus Big B, a wolf in Gotham is going to be the beginning of this 12-issue Black Label run for Fables. So anything you want to say about that?
That has potential, honestly.
The art looked really good. I saw some cover mock-ups, and the art looked really, really good. We don't have any Tony Fett on the stream with us tonight, so there's won't be as much resistance here. But Harley Quinn news. Harley Quinn, the animated series, they do a comic book based on that. And there's going to be another one that will bridge the gap between the animated series season 2 and season 3. The comic book will be called Harley Quinn, the Eat, Bang, Kill Tour. And it will be kind of like Harley and Poison Ivy are Thelma and Louise.
That animated show is so awful. I can't even. People love it. It deserves to keep going. I'm not gonna pull a Tony and be like, nope, because it's Harley, it doesn't deserve it. I think it's awful, but you know what? The numbers don't lie, and it's one of DC's most watched shows currently.
Yeah.
I actually do have a little bit of DC news. I have John Wesley's ship is supposedly returning to the Flash for the end of season 7. So
yep. I saw that I saw on his Instagram that he recently showed some pictures behind the scenes from filming. He's going to be in the season finale for sure because they just filmed the season finale.
Yeah.
So I like him so much. I think he's so good. And cast as Jay Garrick is just perfect for him.
Oh yeah, I agree completely. That's the one thing I can say about CW's Flash is the writing is getting worse and worse, but the casting choices have been amazing.
I agree with you. I've been pretty disappointed in the writing.
Well, now that Cisco's leaving, they're losing a pivotal character, and I feel like they've been setting up for 3 seasons replacing him, and now that it's happening, I'm like, I don't want this to happen.
Yeah, I think right now CW's best superhero show is Superman and Lois.
I agree. I agree completely.
And now I'm not watching Legends. I used to watch it. I've given up on it, but I also have to say Batwoman isn't bad.
See, my problem with Batwoman, again, and I am not discriminating. I don't care if they recolor Batwoman and do whatever. But the problem is that they're still trying to force everything down our throats, and it's like, come on now.
Well, they're doing that. They're doing that on Supergirl too. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I
So
really only
it's
watched.
not exclusively Batwoman, her show, that's doing that, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I just want a good story. I don't care what elements consist of making a good story. Give me a good story.
Yeah.
And
But I feel,
finally,
yeah.
I got one last piece of news, the one that I waited to the end for. I'm so excited about this piece of news. How many times in Fanboys Live in the Retro Review have I asked and requested, do you fanboys have any Captain Carrot news? I have Captain Carrot news. Can you believe that? There's Captain Carrot news.
It does not surprise you. What is the news?
The news is Ultimate Superman and Captain Carrot are teaming up in Infinite Frontiers.
That's
Confirmed, have seen artwork for it.
That's awesome.
I know some furry that's going to be pretty happy to hear about that. His tail's probably just a wagon.
No, he probably has furry senses. He knows. They're probably in cahoots with the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that is my DC news, unless you have anything else to add.
There's a lot of like toy news, honestly. There's Iron Studios just released an awesome Wonder Woman in that golden armor from the movie. They're releasing a bunch of hot toys, and apparently there's a Batman Quantum series. Oh no, that's old. I'm trying to go through all my news here. I just can't really see very well. Let's see here.
Okay.
So yeah, so there is news that the Flash movie, they're in Scotland for the first solo shoot for their filming. I'm interested to see what's going on. Oh, and then so Michael Keaton is confirmed in the film as a 1989 Batman. I don't know how I feel about this Flash movie. It's getting worse and worse the more news that comes.
I mean, all of these people that they're talking about, they've got to just end up being some type of a cameo appearance, right?
Yeah.
Like he's running through time or something, right? That's got to be what it is.
I can't imagine so, though, because if they're going to pay all these big actors, there's no way that they're paying them for 3 seconds of like a drive-by in the Speed Force. My bet is they're going to either mess with the story of Flashpoint and then have all of these Batman and characters working together, or I don't know.
So what do you think my likelihood is that we're going to get a Linda Carter, at least a cameo or something in there?
I think with her, pretty good, actually. Because Wonder Woman is one of DC's top-selling characters, and her movies have been awesome. I know Wonder Woman 19 or whatever got the last one got mixed reviews, but I see a high probability because if they're doing it with Batman, why can't they do it with Wonder Woman?
Yeah, of course. You know, the Wonder Woman movies have been overall, I mean, a success for DC. Even 1984, which, despite some people's enjoyment or lack of enjoyment of it, it still was a success for the company. But then it blows my mind that they're like, oh yeah, we need to recast Wonder Woman. What are you doing? It took you this long to find an actress that it worked for. Don't get rid of something that is working.
See, because the problem is with woke culture and the culture that we're in, it's just like the actor. I don't know if you've seen The Mandalorian. The actor that played I just completely forgot her name.
Yeah. Well, he's in Wonder Woman 1984, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal is going to be recasted, and then the what's her face? Cara Dune. She said something that wasn't woke, so then she gets canceled.
Yeah, cancel culture.
And it's terrible because a lot of these shows and these movies, they have such good, like, I don't care what anybody says. Pascal was an amazing actor. I don't think they're going to find someone to replace him as Mando that's going to do as good.
Yeah.
And
you want to know, just jumping off subject for a second, talking about that Mandalorian.
Yeah.
This is something that I wish people who did superhero movies would take from the Mandalorian. Very rarely in that entire series did we ever see his face, but yet we knew everything he was feeling his emotions. Every time that these people are doing a superhero movie, they got to give them out of their got to get their mask off of them so we can see their face. You can still, he proved that you can still convey with really good acting your feelings and emotions, even if someone can't see your eyes or your mouth or whatever.
Yeah, and see the problem that though is that the Mandalorian, that's the whole culture of being a Mandalorian. Is that this is the way. You never take off your mask, and a lot of people expect from superheroes. They want to see what's inside the mask and what's outside. Like, well, who is Bruce Wayne inside the mask, and then who is he outside? And it's hard to portray that because movies can only be so long unless you're Scott Snyder, and I love the Snyder cut. And if they made every superhero 4 hours, movie 4 hours long, I would love it. And they could. I feel like they could do a lot more. Like Wonder Woman 1984, although it was not one of my favorites. I feel like if they would have made it a little bit longer and extended some of the scenes, I think it would have been one of the best movies I've ever seen. The story was there, but then it felt like they took shortcuts because they were trying to meet a time frame when they edited. And I feel like that's the problem with a lot of superhero movies is that how do you balance in the mask, out the mask, and it's just rough, It's just like the first Justice League. Everyone was, Scott Snyder, save the Scott Snyder universe. The first Justice League was bad. I actually enjoyed this Justice League movie, but the problem was, again, it wasn't long enough. If he would have made it 4 hours long, it could have done the same thing Scott Snyder's did. But here we go. He didn't have enough time to portray everything, and he did what he could with what he had.
Movies just in general, and this is even beyond superhero movies, are so interesting that, for years upon years and decades upon decades in an industry that, I was employed in, they just beat down your head that the public doesn't have an attention span. The public doesn't have an attention span. They can't remember things. And in the same time that they're saying these, all these movies are coming out that are 3+ hours long, and the public doesn't seem to have a problem understanding what's going on, which just goes to prove my point. Good content, it doesn't matter how long it is.
What's the Titanic? Isn't the Titanic like 3 or 4 hours long?
Yeah, Titanic is about 3, I think. So
yeah, I've never seen it, so I don't know, honestly. So
it's actually well done. It's pretty close to historically accurate. Well, and the stuff that isn't historically accurate isn't that big of a deal.
Well, and the funny thing is, when you look at all these movies that are 3+ hours long, depending on the movie, most of them are the ones that are highly acclaimed too. The ones that I love are the ones that are 3 hours long because they get the nitty gritty. It's like Scott Snyder's movie. Why was it good? Because it filled in the gaps. It introduced so much to the universe that people wanted to see in the Justice League movie. Because no offense, the Justice League movie is a lot more than Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Flash, Superman, and Batman. There's so many characters. Yeah. So with a 4-hour movie, people went nuts over the Martian Manhunter. And he was in there for 5-10 minutes. So very short. Why? Because they did it properly and they made it so that even though it was only 10 minutes, it fit the story and it expanded the universe.
Yeah.
I could rant about movies all day long in these shows because it's getting that's comic books in general, collecting hobbies, are terrible. I was talking to a buddy. I used to play Magic the Gathering, and and everyone calls these card games TCGs, trading card games, but no one trades anymore. It's just like with comic books. Everyone's trying to find the next big thing to flip. The next big thing. It's like the first appearance of Bane's daughter. First of all, ridiculous. I don't think they needed to kill off Bane and make Bane have a daughter that does the same exact thing Bane does, but whatever. I'm not the writer. And 2, why? So now that book is $700 because people are speculating now because it's a woman Bane? Get out of here.
Yeah. And I just want to say before we move on that look at how your life has changed. I mean, you used to talk Magic the Gathering, and now you're talking to Magic the Lasso.
It's definitely been an upgrade because
Oh, thank you.
A lot of hobbies are toxic, and I feel like That's why if any of you have messaged me on Instagram, I haven't responded. I've deleted the app. I didn't delete my account because I didn't want to remake a new one and do all that jazz. So I just taken a break from it because I didn't want to deal with it, because there are certain people there. It's just toxic to watch, and it's toxic to see all of their posts. And I've been pretty toxic. There are certain people, that I don't care for in the community because they are profiting off of what they produce in content. And I'm not going to say their names, but and I've mentioned them quite a few times. But there's a lot of people in the community that just focus on that kind of stuff, and they just focus on like speculative market, and it just, for me, has been draining me of my enjoyment of the hobby.
Sure.
If you're into comic books, card games, it's like the Pokemon card game. People were stealing from Walmart. People were being greedy, and these like, if my daughter was old enough, I couldn't have gone and gotten her packs if she wanted to open them, because people want to open or sell packs for 3 times what they're selling for Walmart right off of the shelf.
Yeah.
It's sad that nowadays you have to wonder what is on your pull list for comics. You have to, well, if I don't get that Nightwing 79, now it's a $50 book or $30 book, and it just came out 2 weeks ago. I'm not paying $50 for a book that came out 2 weeks ago with a print run that's probably 30,000. It's ridiculous.
And plus, I mean, we all know, well, maybe I say we all know, with the exception of Christy. Christy has, she's learning all this stuff from watching us. But all of us long-term people know exactly who I'm about to speak about. This comic book store that will take your pre-order for that hot book, and then when they realize that it's hot and it's selling, they'll just cancel your pre-order and take that book and sell it, instead of cover price, which you thought you already had one at cover price reserved for you. They'll just cancel your order, refund your money, and then take that book that they got in and sell it for $50 instead of $5. We all know who that shop is because they have that reputation for it.
And it's sad that it has to be that way, but what, we as the consumers have made it this way. I mean? And it's funny because if a lot of these books that are selling for what they're selling now were actually worth what they're selling, why weren't they that much when they came out? It's like Ultimate Fallout 4, first Miles Morales. Again, I don't care about a recolor of Spider-Man. I don't know if that's bad to say it that way. I don't care about that. I'm okay, good story, whatever. There are $10,000 or $12,000 or $10 or 12,000 copies of that book on the CGC census. It is selling for $4,000. Yeah. There are only 40 copies of a book that I have on the census, and it's barely selling for anything. How does that work? You know what I mean? The market does not make sense to me anymore. Yeah. And I got to the point, a big reason why I'm stepping aside too is because I was being toxic. Like, I was flipping books because I'm lucky enough to have an LCS that hooks me up. Like, they tell me a week in advance, like, what they're getting, so I got 10 copies of that female Bane cover, and I made a crap ton of money on them. And then I was talking to the wife, and I was talking to her, and I'm like, I feel bad for doing it. I feel bad because, like, I see this money coming in, and I'm a good person. I try to be. And I'm like, wow, I just made $4,000 off of these books that I paid $10 a piece for. And why did I do that? Why I should just sold them for cover price, because that's what I used to do. Like, when Thor 5 and from Marvel came out, it skyrocketed to a $50 book because of the Black Winter. I was giving away copies for free. I had 50 copies. I gave 45 copies away for free or at cover price, and they paid shipping. And then I've been absorbing that negativity. And I'm like, screw it. If anyone else can do it, why can't I? And I don't want to be like that anymore.
Yeah, I get that. So, but it's commendable to you, for how you've helped other collectors out too. I applaud you. But I don't want to get off completely off topic here from Fanboys Live. I guess news-wise, we're done, and we can kind of segue a little bit into the retro review, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sorry, I just had a rant that's been building up for a while. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And if you say something, I've got to add my 2 cents into it as well. So
what are we reviewing today?
So I'm so happy because Wonder Woman books once again are getting reviewed on this channel before Naomi is. And that makes me so happy. There's a 2-part story that came out, I think, like in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. Part 1 is in Flash 219, which I love this cover, by the way. I just think that cover is amazing.
It's so good.
And part 2 of the story took place in Wonder Woman issue number 214. So we're going to cover these 2 issues and retro review those tonight. So since it started in Flash, do you want to start out and give me your thoughts on the Flash issue?
Yeah, I'll go through it really quickly. We talked a tiny bit because we didn't want to talk about too much in the background. The writing in this book, you could tell from the 2 different writers that it is completely different styles. And mine, again, as much as I give crap about Wally, I mean I don't really dislike him. I just think Barry's better. The writing in this book was really weird. So basically, it starts off. So Cheetah's murdered several guards, and she's trying to rescue Zoom in Iron Heights. Zoom is talking to her, and he tells her, he knows that her violent nature is brought out by these offerings, and he wants to know what she's doing here. And oddly enough, Cheetah looks and tells him she wants his speed. So she wants to be a speedster. And this is what struck me as odd, is because during this time, I don't ever think that in the Flash book there has ever been talk about there potentially being able to give speed away. Like Barry could have just give speed to another person to make them a speedster. So that was really weird for me. So after she tells him, like, hey, I want to be a speedster, I want your speed, she offers to protect him, and they need to be careful because after what happened to Dr. Light, and now the heroes are ruthless. Zoom is still protesting, and he's protesting and saying he's not a villain. Well, it pans over to Wally, and apparently he's an auto mechanic, and he overhears, on the news that just so happens to be his wife, discussing that Zoom has escaped from Iron Heights. So Flash, being the Flash, obviously takes off in his costume to investigate. He arrives, and Linda tells, she's like, oh, I'm not scared to be around Zoom. She has a job to do. She's trying to be a good news reporter, so she does that. And Wally is proud of her, and he gives her a hug. So the security guard shows him a photo of Cheetah freeing Zoom, which is, again, you really think, Cheetah saving Zoom, kind of interesting. Well, in New York, it pans over, and Wonder Woman is battling Giganta. So Wally speeds over there to try and help, but Wonder Woman has already knocked her out. So it's not really very much help. So then I don't know how they get back there. I don't know if the Themyscirian embassy is in New York, but they go back there, and they're talking about the Cheetah, and she's explaining to Wally that Cheetah isn't she's like, oh, it's not going to work with Zoom. She doesn't play well with others. So she's kind of confused as well that she's working with them. And then all of a sudden, she just kind of recommends that they start in Boston. So she then tells them to lead the way since she's blind. And then Wally just kind of blurts out of nowhere that she's beautiful but annoying since he's holding the lasso of truth. I found that pretty funny, another typical Wally moment. And then it pans over to Captain Cole, and he is searching for Captain Boomerang Jr.'s mom. So they are looking for female speedsters because he is showing signs of super speed. And then Captain Cole gets this letter from the top saying that he has apparently the top has recruited his own rogues gallery to go to war with him. And then it pans back over to Cheetah, and Zoom. Cheetah's just hounding Zoom for his speed. He tells her that she knows that she is the second person to call herself Cheetah, so this is not the original Cheetah, and that the first was Priscilla Rich. And then Zoom gets in her head and is trying to tell her, like, hey, you got to kill the first to obtain her legacy, and that the old Cheetah had spoken out against her, holding her back. So then it goes to Flash and Wonder Woman, and they're following the path of destruction that Zoom and Cheetah are leaving behind. And they end up at an old woman's house. And then there happens to be a photo on the wall, and it's Priscilla Rich's. And they find the dead 80-year-old woman. And then you see Zoom and Cheetah bust into the room faster than the Flash can react. knocking him down, and Zoom has warns Wally he's made Cheetah faster and stronger, and the same he'll do for him. And that's where it kind of ends.
So what are your thoughts on this issue overall?
Again, I don't remember any other time before this, and I know like being able to transfer speed. So I don't know if this was kind of the first time that this was mentioned, so that they're trying to expand the Flashverse, you know, like, oh yeah, if a speedster is willing to, they can give another person a part of their speed. Other than that, I mean, the writing is not. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like they rushed it and they tried. I felt like they could have probably made this a 3 or 4 part like story, because it was just like a lot of randomness, you know, when like Wonder Woman battling Giganta, and then Captain Cold and you know, looking for Captain Boomerang's mom, and it was just like a bunch of randomness that I feel like they could have done separate story arcs for, and gotten, you know, again, like we were talking about the movies, make more information for the readers so that we could get more from the story.
Sure. So my thoughts on this issue, I've never seen Cheetah like wanting from another villain before. The only thing I've ever seen her wanting for was Wonder Woman's lasso, because she thought that that could fix and cure her. So I was like, well, that's kind of interesting, you know, that she wants to be a speedster, and that she offers protection. Is that typical of Zoom to declare himself not to be a villain? Is that typical of his personality?
Yes, no, because I think there's numerous times where he's like, you know, he thinks he's doing good, but then, you know, the whole point of the Reverse Flash and him taking up that mantle was that he knows, like, they blame Barry and Wally alike for their crappy futures, so they're going to come torture them in the past, and you see that through every series, whether it's Wally or Barry. So that was interesting for me as
he's
well.
Doing it now and saying, well, I'm not a villain because I make him a better hero. Because he has to fight me, he becomes better. Yeah. And I thought, well, that's actually an interesting take, but I just wasn't familiar with that with the Zoom character. I never think of Zoom in that way. So another thing on this issue, we get to the Giganta part again, and this is what DC has done with Giganta, you know, for quite some time. They throw her in random books for a couple panels, and she's defeated easily. We don't know why she even, you know, she's always, we always see Giganta at the end of a battle. You know, someday in some book, I hope to get a really good Giganta storyline where she is the main antagonist and she's the real deal here, you know, that they're going after, and the motivations why. I still love that she's old school Super Friend style, you know, the costume and everything. And in the poor taste department, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that Giganta wears underwear under that costume?
No, there's no way.
I don't think she does either.
No.
So I actually asked that of a creator who has worked on Giganta, and he confirmed to me, no, she doesn't. So, okay. You know, the Wonder Woman Flash team up, it's interesting. So it works. Now we get back to that part again, where Zoom is telling Priscilla Rich, or she's telling Cheetah that she has to kill Priscilla Rich, the original Cheetah. And at this time, I like how they established that Cheetah, there was a Cheetah. You know, there was. Now, pre-crisis, we actually had 2 Cheetahs. Now here they're establishing there was only 1 Cheetah before Barbara Minerva, but in pre-crisis there were 2 Cheetahs before Barbara Minerva. But a little thing that's just an Easter egg to that fact is, I'm hoping I can show this. Let me try to. It's okay. In this panel here, right by Wonder Woman. Oh, right in. Nope. Still learning my StreamYard. Right. Where am I? Right here in this picture frame here. It says, happy birthday, Aunt Priscilla, love Debbie. And that's an Easter egg because Priscilla Rich's niece, Deborah Domain, became the second Cheetah. Yeah. So they are acknowledging that there is a Deborah Domain. you know, post-crisis, even if she didn't become a cheetah on this world. So overall, I thought it was an interesting story. I thought the end, the cliffhanger, was pretty decent. So,
see, I really would have liked him to expand on him giving her the Speed Force though, because I can't remember at this time how. I'm trying to remember how relevant the Speed Force was, because I felt like it was a newer thing, and it maybe it was before like the Speed Force became the one answer to everything that a speedster could do.
mm-hmm.
But it was just interesting that he just tells Wally, he's like, yeah, I've already made her stronger, made her faster, so good luck.
Yeah. So I'll take over for the continuation on the story, if that's okay with you.
No, of course.
Yep. For Wonder Woman 214, the second part of the story. You're probably going to hear a train go by in a moment too. I apologize for that.
No, it's okay.
So we end with that big cliffhanger, and how do we start the Wonder Woman story? We're dealing with other stuff that's going on in the title of this book. And for the first 3 pages, we're dealing with Ares and the gods, essentially. And this is stuff that was played out, you know, before the storyline came and will play out afterwards. We have Aphrodite and Ares.
No, we have someone joining the stream.
Oh my gosh.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
I feel like this is the part of the I feel like this is the part of the stream where I go, I gotta go, bye.
Nice. Sorry, I was just getting all set up. You got me right in here.
I'm gonna keep retro reviewing while you go. So then after 3 pages of dealing with the gods, we're back to Wonder Woman and Flash, dealing with Cheetah and Professor Zoom. You know, we have that obligatory battle that you expect. We do find out in this issue too that Cheetah and Zoom hooked up. So that's interesting. Now here, and I'm going to come back to this later on.
You know, can I just say that that's really fitting? Because that's like the villain version of, like, you know, the crotch bump.
That's what I was about to say. I was an Easter egg for the crotch bump.
Am I going to have to get my book out with the big punch?
Hey, you might.
So here we have the big battle, and Flashput, I really want to get your feedback on this later on when I'm done with this issue. But we have, you know, Cheetah really working on Wally. I mean, it looks like she's hitting nerves, she's hitting muscles. I mean, there's a panel here where look at that silhouette. I mean, she's really getting him. So as her story goes on, you know, Cheetah is fighting Wally. Zoom and Wonder Woman are fighting, so they've switched villains, which makes sense, you know, switch it up a little bit. Zoom takes it to Paradise Island and threatens to start killing her Amazonian sisters, because if he can make a Flash a better villain, maybe he can do the same for Wonder Woman. Hey, Joey. Here's the part 2 where Barbara Minerva is offering some additional favors, kind of like the one she provided to Zoom to Wally. Of course, he turns her down. He says he's married. She says she doesn't really care. She strikes a very dominant pose. So we're back on Paradise Island. We have Zoom taking some frustrations out on an Amazon. Luckily, she makes it alive. He punched her like 200 times in a second. And finally, Wonder Woman has had enough, and she kind of gives him the big punch. Essentially, she grabs a hold of him, and they head off back to meet up with Cheetah and Wally. The fight is over, but the villains disappear. And both Wally and Diana are kind of like, we lost. And they're like, yeah, we did. We lost this time. So we cut to the end of the book where we see that Cheetah and Zoom, after they've disappeared, where they've gone, Cheetah has taken him to someone that can help him in the future. None other than Dr. Psycho. And that is the end of our story arc. Now, to my knowledge, I don't remember them ever picking up the rest of the story arc with Dr. Psycho, Zoom, and Cheetah together. To me, that would be such a great base for a new Secret Society of Supervillains type group.
Yep. Oh, well, okay, it's gonna be dark now. Yeah, I don't think they ever did.
I thought there was some potential there that just didn't get explored. I think you were right, Mike, when you talked before and said that if they would have done maybe even another issue and slowed the story down a little bit more, that would have worked better.
Well, if they were banging, I think they should have done like a Cheetah Zoom hybrid kid, like a little furry, speedster.
You said it, not me.
What's that all about?
Well,
yeah, I can't even see if he's laughing or not either.
Well, so Mike, I did want to ask you before I forgot, and before we get too off the topic here. So when Cheetah is like gashing away at Wally, is he staying alive because of his metabolism being able to heal himself so fast? Because it looks like she's really hacking at different parts of his body, like vital organs.
Well, see, the problem is that I can't remember in the 2005 where the Speed Force, how relevant it was, because in future, like Flash, the Speed Force is what's given him the ability to heal fast. So like if the Flash ran into a telephone pole, broke his leg, he'd heal super fast because of the Speed Force. The Speed Force energy would give him the energy to heal. I don't have an honest answer because I would assume that the Speed Force was keeping him alive at this point, but I don't know.
Well, like I said, when you look there, I mean, she's really getting, she's gashing at his back there. And
see, but if you think about it too, where she was trying to do some of those favors, I think that she was intentionally keeping him alive though too, because when she goes above him and is like, oh well, we could do this and this, I think it was intentional.
Okay, that makes sense too. She was still keeping him around in case there was the chance at the Midnight Rodeo.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Dude, she wanted to be on Maury too, because then it could have been Wally or Zoom, whose baby it was. Boom. Best Maury episode ever.
Yep. Poor little baby Cheetos. So essentially that's our retro review here of it's called Truth or Dare, and it was a 2-part story arc that started in Flash and finished up in Wonder Woman. But I'm so happy that fanboy Fu is here with us. He is here to provide us the first, to my knowledge, report on the meeting with Tony Fett. We can't hear you.
No.
Sorry. Yeah, no, he's a catfish. He's not real.
He's not real.
No.
Was it Harley Quinn?
Yes.
Okay.
No, the truth is, no, it was great meeting Tony. We had a great time. He arrived a little late, so we didn't get like a lot of the LCSs in my area closed early on a Saturday, which is a shame. Yeah. But we were able to hit up one, the new one actually that just opened by me, and got a couple books, so had a good time. Okay. I have some big news. And I'm going to spoil it for him. I know he doesn't want me to tell this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Tell me.
Tony got his first Harley Quinn book.
On purpose
really?
Or by accident?
It doesn't matter. He got his first Harley Quinn book. I'll save the details for Tony, but good job, Tony.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Glad you made it safe back there. Yeah, no, it was we had a great time.
So did Tony happen to share with you some of the ideas that I gave him on how to make a viral video for his channel?
Yeah, so I am very, very happy to announce that the food trooper is still in my possession. He has not been kidnapped.
Good.
So that's good. And no glitter was, spread upon me. So that's great. I heard that there may have been talk of a GoFundMe.
Yeah. But it was for charity.
For charity, I know, for the St. Jude's, of course, which is awesome. As a way to encourage, to kind of make it impossible for Tony to say no to some of your evil plans. But fortunately for me, Tony has much higher ethical standards than either of these two. So, yep, no, I came out of it just fine.
Good.
And the food trooper is fine as well.
Good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm so sure you're so disappointed. A GoFundMe, man.
We figured we could get that funded really fast.
Yeah.
Dude, you have 1,000 subs. Lasso has 500. I've got 165. If everyone donates $10 for each channel they're on, 30. There we go. That's done.
There you go.
See, I was just trying to get Tony a viral video that would just make his channel explode. And
yeah, that was your only intent, right?
That was my only. Hey, how many times have I glittered you, or even tried? Zero. Zero.
Well, I don't know. It's
Zero.
like a 0.01. You did send one piece back to me.
Oh yeah, I did.
I actually have it somewhere over there. So yeah,
and it said flee back to your daddy.
Yes, it did. It did. So, but yeah, that was it.
Did he pick up his first Constantine yet?
No, still no Constantine. Yes to a Harley, no to Constantine. So, hey, he got the priorities taken care of.
That Harley Quinn book had to have been something amazing for him to pick it up.
I know, right? He was pretty happy about it.
Really? Huh?
Yeah.
Now, this wasn't one of those situations. See, this is how I figured that this would go down. Like, you would take a Harley Quinn book and, like, slip it in his backpack or something. The store owner. So then Tony gets arrested and, in fear of going to jail, says, I meant to buy it. And that's how the purchase happened. Is any of this even remotely close to reality?
I wish I had thought of that, but no.
Oh, okay.
I did not frame him for theft. So,
and I sit with statements like this. I sit here and wonder why nobody in the comic book community has met me.
I know.
I honestly thought it would have been you would have showed your LCS owners the videos you made of him as with his face on Harleys, and they would have just made it rain Harley Quinn books for him.
I know, right? No, like I said, a lot of the stores were already closed by that time. So, because he got in town a little later, but yeah, no, I had nothing to do with the Harley. I'm innocent. The worst I did was give him some chocolate from Nashville. So there you go.
I think there was some reprogramming done on Tony during this trip.
There may have been. Now keep in mind, I wasn't his only visit on this trip. True. So, don't just look in my direction.
Isn't it true after dealing with Tim, Tom, Tamantha that everything in your world is different?
Yes, I'm sure.
That's what I've heard. So
now I actually I'm sure Tony wants to. I'm just going to spoil all of his news. We did also learn that Tim apparently is much taller in person than you might expect.
Really?
Yeah.
Like above 6 foot?
It sounds like it. So Tim's been holding out on us.
Yeah. Wow.
He's apparently a giant. I may or may not be exaggerating, but it's fine.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, we hung out for a few hours, got some dinner, and that was it. So it was a nice little visit. And if you guys are ever in town, welcome to come on by as well.
How's
books.
how's everything go with your kiddo? Did everything good with the camp and stuff like that? Graduation?
Yep. He got all his stuff done, had a real good time. And that's actually why I was late here. We were, well, not for the camp, but I was just downstairs working on a project with the kids. So
good. That's great.
And it is hot here today. I'm like sweating.
It's 106 where I'm at.
Oh man, is it hot? We were out in the heat, working and stuff. So I'm dying. The Adventures of Tony Fett. I know, I was saying last night that it's almost a shame that we moved the Fanboys to Sunday, because had it been on Saturday still, Tony and I could have both done it from here.
Yeah. I would have moved it for you guys too if I would have known. Because I was told when Lasso messaged me, he's like, "Oh yeah, well everyone else is busy. Do you want to just do it?" And I was like, "You know what? I'm feeling okay now. I'm feeling better. I think I can do it. So let's do it." If I would have known, we could have done it yesterday, and I would have been awesome.
Yeah, well, again, we were kind of playing it by ear because of travel plans and traffic and whatnot.
Did you guys?
And Tony, I know that you're in the chat. If you need me to send you the link to pop in for a minute, just so you can make an appearance and say you didn't ever miss a Fanboys episode, I can do that. Just let me know. That's right. Has he ever missed one? No, because even the one he was gone for, he had a video.
Oh yeah.
This is the first Fanboys that he actually hasn't been on the actual show, just in the chat.
Wow. All right. Well, the chat kind of counts.
Yeah. Earlier, Fu, while you were gone, we actually had Captain Carrot news today.
Oh.
And you know how often I request Captain Carrot news, and I never get that.
Tony can attest. There's one sitting on the wall at my LCS.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what's your news?
The news was that, where did I put this? Ultimate Superman and Captain Carrot are teaming up for the Infinite Frontier series.
Wow. All right. The return of Captain Carrot.
And everything.
Dude, that book's going to just skyrocket now.
I know. Hard to believe that his first appearance is in a Teen Titans book, even though it's separate from the Teen Titans story.
Hmm.
How you doing with that Teen Titans that you need? I know you were, one away?
Yeah, I think it's is it issue 10 that I need?
Is it, or is that the one I sent you?
I can't remember.
I think that's the one I sent you, and
then it's probably 3 I need.
Yeah, I think you need 3, and I sent you 10. So
yeah,
you still don't have that one yet, huh?
I do not. No.
So. Hey, it's all good. Thanks for showing up.
Okay.
Now, I do have something new that I can share. This was kind of fun. Tony was there with me. So I had somebody reach out. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but I had somebody reach out to me and had this idea that they wanted me to build them a custom mystery box, and gave me a set of parameters to work within, price, like a price range, characters, and other kinds of requirements to it. And check this out. I just got this put together. This is one full mystery box. I hit every single one of these requirements perfectly. Wow. I'm so excited to send this thing out. And it's got me thinking that, hey, this is something that, and I'm just charging them whatever I got for the books, right? But it got me thinking that, hey, this could potentially be the Building a Mystery Season 2 idea, where each box is basically a custom haul, like my comic find videos.
Yeah. That's cool.
What do you guys think of that? I wanted to bounce it off a few people to see if that's even something you think would work out.
I think that's cool. That's something that, last year I thought of at some point I'd like to do, just send someone some money and not know what I'm going to get back in return.
That's it. Yes. But with a set of guidelines. So you're not, so Tim doesn't get Marvel if he's not into Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the only problem with that though is that so I've done this twice now, and I always get screwed because, they ask me.
You didn't go through me.
Well, I'll try one of yours.
I'm kidding.
Tell them. I tell them I want DC only. I want, Flash, Wonder Woman, Batman, stuff like that. And I typically, when I do mystery boxes, if I'm going to do a custom mystery box, I'm gonna go a higher price range because I want Golden Age or Silver Age. I don't really want to do modern stuff because modern is whatever. I can go on eBay for modern.
Yep.
And I mean, you have to have the inventory though. I know you have a lot of books. But
yeah, no, this would be a little different. This would be the concept behind this is I don't have the books.
And you go hunt them for them.
I'm going to go out and hunt for you, and we'll set like a time limit, a price range, and again, a set of parameters like which characters, are they a reader or a key collector, that type of thing. And it's based off of what I find. And of course, some of my spin to it as well. So,
you know what? That's actually a great idea. That would be good. And then again, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So you're not going to be getting Golden Age. Sorry, Flash, but these are still going to be probably like within the $100 range we're talking, because it's got to be reasonable.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. So I'm working on it, and we'll see if I can't come up with something there.
And then you can have Squatchy hyping it up in the chat just to get people to up their limits.
Right. Yeah.
What, $200? No, you got it.
Did you? When people were bidding back and forth in the auction, I don't know if either of you were there to see it, but Squatchy was like kind of narrating, I guess, and coaxing people on, and he's sitting there like treating it like it's a fight, like a boxing match or something, and like, oh, he just slapped you across the face. You're not gonna put up with that, are you? And I kid you not, he had people bidding up based on him saying, you're not gonna take that from him, are you? And like it was
great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You
could like a cool idea. It happens, I might consider. All right, good. Thanks for the feedback.
You could potentially even offer upgrades once your mystery box is done. You could say, if you add in another $75, you get a signed Dean Cain photo.
Right.
If you add in $55, you get a Betty White cookbook.
There you go. I like this. I see where you're going with this.
Extras.
Right.
And then Copy could sign all of them for everybody.
There you go. For like $250 extra, you can get the secret sex tape of Betty White and Squatchy.
Yep.
Yeah, I will not be paying the $250.
I don't know. I don't know who that is that's doing that in the chat on the lives, but it is hysterical, and Squatchy hates it. He hates it. Which is why I love it. I think it's great. Continue on.
That's funny. I have this weird theory, and I don't know if I've put this theory completely to bed yet or not, but I think I have a theory that
playing out his fantasies.
No, of who Dean Cain is that has never been guessed.
Who's that?
I think it might be you.
It might be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? That's a good theory.
Pretty clever.
You know what? He types in chat when Foo is not talking and he's not busy.
And Foo reads it.
I know. And I can type really fast too.
See? Maybe it's you.
It could be me. It could be me. I'll look into that for you.
I might be the Scooby friend that figured it all out.
You may.
No, Betty White is the hilarious one because you can see Squat at the auction, just banner. You see all you wrenches, she's deleting that.
You know why he gets so upset? Because whoever it is flirting with him, and he's really disturbed by it because he knows it's one of his friends.
Nice.
But.
And like Just a Nerd said that, he might consider purchasing a box. You could upgrade his with some KFC coupons.
Yep.
There you go. I got to find some more of those those KFC books I found for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that
now,
Green Lantern, is that Green Lantern KFC book? I know it's real. But is that like a real story, or is that just a cover?
It's a real story.
It's a story. So Colonel Sanders is in the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've seen it at one point. Yeah, and there's other Colonel Sanders books.
It's kind of weird that I kind of want that.
So that was what Tony said when he pulled it out. He's like, "Oh, I kind of want that." I was thinking about it. I was like, "Dude, you gotta have it." There's not many either. I think it's limited to 1,000.
Yeah.
So, and most of them are signed and slabbed because I think they all came that way or something, or most of them.
But they're not signed by the Colonel.
No, because I have the only
but Neil
one
Adams. It's signed by Neil Adams.
Hey, Neil Adams has got a birthday this week. He's going to be 80.
Wow. Now that's something I learned about Tony. Do you know he actually I guess people like to pull the fire alarm at Baltimore Comic Con. I don't know.
No, I didn't know that.
And Tony helped Neil Adams carry his books out.
Oh yeah, he told us
during the fire alarm event.
Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know it was I didn't know it was because someone liked to pull the fire alarm.
Yeah, apparently they do it every year, he said.
Is it Tony?
I think it might be. I mean, let's be honest. He's like, oh, here's a chance to carry Neil Adams's boxes out.
Yeah.
So
you can get that book on eBay right now for $225.
Really? Is that much?
That's finger licking expensive.
Yeah, it is.
See, the only one that I have is the Colonel of Two Worlds #1.
That was uncalled for, just a nerd. I concur.
Ring looking good, huh? Oh man, well that's good. I'm glad you guys met up and had a bunch of fun. I wish I could have. I want to go somewhere, and all these cons are opening up, and I'm trying to get my wife to be like, I wanted to go to New York Comic Con or whatever, and she's like, yeah, no, we're not going there. It's gonna be COVID infested for our baby.
Just because it's New York.
Yeah. New York's kind of a filthy place. I've been there twice. It's really dirty.
Well, you know what's interesting is like ReedPop announced that they won't sell someone a 4-day ticket.
Why?
Yeah, because they're trying to. So with COVID, a lot of cons are doing that. Like Denver Comic Con, they're only doing 1 or 2 day passes because they don't want. They're trying to. They know that. Watch. They know as soon as they start doing that, COVID's going to spike. So they're trying to inhibit that by, we're only selling 1 or 2 day passes. It's more expensive that way to inhibit people from coming all the days if they're infected. But I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're 1,000 strong inside of a building, butt to butt with people. It doesn't really matter.
I think my only do their math.
You know, my concern with that is, I know a lot of us YouTubers want to meet up and hang out. What if someone has tickets for 1 day, and you have tickets for the next? And I mean, that would suck to get to miss out spending time with someone, because even if you have a ticket for the day, you still want to go to the event because that's the only day you're going to get in.
Right.
And they can't get in, so I don't know. That I guess we'll work around it like we have to, but.
Well, I'll just tell you what day I'll be there, and you guys can work around me.
Yeah, we'll work around you.
Lasso's just like, okay.
All right, I totally do.
Have you guys
kind of are, I mean, you are kind of like the glue. You're the one that's brought so many people together. Your channel did.
Really?
Yeah. You got to think, like Squatchy, Stevie, me,
That's true.
Lasso, Tim.
The live streams have been fun. I don't think I can't take credit for it, but yes, the live chats have definitely produced a lot of fun.
Yeah, some memorable things for sure.
So how have you guys been? Haven't seen you in a couple weeks.
Very good. I said the first fanboys that I did when you were gone, you had a graduation party at your house that night, and I was talking to Tim and Tony. I say, well, what does that say for the fact that you two weren't invited? And they kind of didn't know what to say. I said, I know the reason. I said, I know the reason why I didn't get invited. And I was waiting for them to take the bait, and they wouldn't take the bait. So finally I had to say, don't you want to know the reason why I didn't get invited to the graduation party? And they said, yeah. I said, because Fu knew if he invited me to the graduation party, I'd show up.
There you go. You should have said that I didn't invite you, because if I invited you, then I would have had to invited them too.
Yeah. Still, my big goal someday is to be able to do Fanboys Live in the Retro Review, all of us together in front of the Superman statue in Metropolis, Illinois.
That'd be a cool place, definitely. Yeah,
That's
awesome.
like my dream for us to, and just have tons of people tuning in and just feel like
And
we're
we all
rock
have
stars for one
we
day.
all have to dress up like our favorite character. Wonder Woman will be dressed Lasso will be dressed in drag as Wonder Woman. It'd be great.
Yeah. Who am I going to be dressed as? I'm waiting for it.
No, you're gonna be dressed as the Green Lantern. You're gonna be Hal Jordan.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
I thought he was going to be Rattata.
Or it could be Chip. He could be Chip.
Chip. Dude, can you imagine if I actually got a Chip like cosplay outfit?
Oh God. You'd probably be one of the most popular people ever.
You'll have to start a GoFundMe for my Chip outfit.
Do it. Dude, people.
I've learned, don't put things like that out into the universe. It will show up on your doorstep.
Yeah, right. I know. Yeah, Copy already sent me a freaking thing.
There was talk of rioting if it didn't get worn.
I know. And then I sent it to Tony, and Tony sat on it for like weeks. And I was getting like death threats in the meanwhile, right?
Yep.
Tony will be Harley Quinn, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
We can't have Lasso being the only one in drag, so
Yeah.
Tony has to be the sacrifice there.
That's funny.
All
right.
So did any of you guys picked up any good books recently?
Well, I can. Do you want me to save my book show to the end, or?
Yeah, or you can pick up another one.
No, you guys go ahead. I'll find something.
I have no book shows. I haven't really picked up squat recently. I picked up some Golden Age stuff, but that's already gone.
You know what's weird is, from what I'm hearing and the little research I've done, it almost seems that you can get Golden Age books cheaper than some Silver and Bronze now.
It depends on the book. So
yeah.
So like me, I picked up probably a lot of like the Jay Garrick Flash run in about a 6.0 to 7.0 range. I've been paying about $200 a book graded. I mean, Silver Age, if you're looking at like Silver Age, like Flash 110, the first Kid Flash is just ridiculous now in that grade. So it's because the only thing that's not crazy is Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is, I think, the most expensive Golden Age, and it beats all Silver Age. I just got the first appearance of Black Adam in a 0.5, and that was ridiculous.
Wow.
All right. Well, you guys asked if I read anything recently, got any new books, and I did. I got a bunch of new books. And they're all the same.
That's why I can't find that book now.
I was going to say, I know Flash has read this. Have you read this, Lasso?
No, but I heard about it, and I heard that it's good.
I've watched so good.
Talk about the spec on it too, and
it is.
And I thought, well, I'm going to try to see if I can find one of those, and I'm not finding them in the price range that I wanted to find them in.
They are gone. eBay you might still be able to get it for like $10 on eBay, and that might be the best you're going to do probably.
Wow.
I see. I got lucky. I did not pay over cover price for any of my copies, so I got super lucky.
Yeah, these were cover price. So I was real quick on it.
This might be a really stupid question, but a book like that so many people are specking on, do the variant covers hold up as well price-wise, or does it have to be the A cover?
Most of the A cover, unless you start. So here's the thing with specking on new books. So prime example, it's the same thing. It's like Miles Morales. The A cover is what people mainly want, or the 1 in 25 variant. So I don't think Ultimate Fallout 4 had any like sketch variants or whatever from other artists. This book has a bunch on eBay, so I got a set that are now selling astronomical. Like, it depends on the artist, honestly. It's ridiculous.
Hey, give credit where credit's due. Somebody told you about the one you got.
You did, yes. You did.
There is I forget the artist now, but there's one There's 3 covers. There's the trade, the semi-virgin, and the virgin.
Yeah.
And each of us got all 3. It's is it James Gallagher? I think maybe that's who did it. It's basically this woman in a red bathing suit floating on her back in a crystal clear blue pool. It's gorgeous, this cover. And so to answer your question, I think usually it is the A cover that you want. If you look at like Something is Killing the Children, I actually have the Frizzen Virgin variant, which it's gorgeous. You would think that would be the book. It's not. It's the A cover. So in most cases it is the A cover, but if there's a 1 in 20 or 1 in 25 ratio, I think that is also generally the one to get if you can. And as far as the artist variants, you got to use your brain, right? Yeah. You got to use your brain. That's why I went after the girl in the pool, because that was just like, it popped. And otherwise, I did get the 1 in 20 variant. I got 1 copy of those. It's still on the way.
Yeah, I got 3 copies.
You got 3. So guess what happened to me? So I order this thing, right? It's like a $40 book already. And it gets shipped to me and in like some of that old cardboard that bends a lot, you know? Yeah. And dude, it bent and it just absolutely crushed that book in a bubble wrap mailer.
Did they give you your money back?
Oh yeah, I was furious. I let them have it, and they instantly gave me my money back. But here's the problem: I have to send it back, so it's a pain. It's a hassle to begin with, right? To have to then send it back, and the book's gone up since then, so I had to spend a little bit more to go get the book again from another seller. Like, it really infuriates me because it's not just that you'll get your money back, but in some of these cases, like the book's now out of reach.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah,
and I was hot on it. I was right on it like day one, so that I didn't like get messed on the price. But
it's just for anyone watching on the rewind, I'm telling you, the way to do it: private transactions, my friend. Get rid of eBay. It's the way to go. Because I picked up my 4 1 in 20s. I got them for $25 a piece because they're a lot of sellers, especially on these bigger books that I pick up. A lot of sellers are willing to, if you tell them like, hey, let's just go out, let's not do this on eBay, text me or whatever, let's work out a deal. They don't have to pay the astronomical fees or whatever, and they're willing to cut you a break and everything so that eBay doesn't get all their money.
Yeah. Makes sense. But yeah, no, I've actually pre-ordered 2 9.8s.
Yep.
CGC. And I think I have 3 additional raw covers on the way. I think I'll have a total of 21 raw, 2 9/8s, and then the ratio cover, and then the 3 Gallagher covers. So I'm all in on this book.
Yeah, same here. And the reason it's so hot, just so you know, is because it got double. What is that? Whenever they pick it up for
option.
Option. It got double.
Oh, it's already been optioned. Dude, It makes so much sense. Like, you could totally see this being a movie or something.
Yeah. The story is actually good. I actually opened up and read one of the copies I have. It's really good.
It is. But it's extremely good. I read the digital.
And another thing to watch out for, specking with the fanboys, is that just like with Something is Killing the Children, once people figure out it's a hot book, everyone's going to put it on their pull list, and it's going to drive the prices of the book down. So number 2 is not going to be worth what number 1 is. Yep. Number 3 is not going to be even close to what number 2 is, and so on and so forth, because that is the law of equivalent exchange. If you didn't hop on at the right time, you're trying to hop on and ride the wave, but the wave is already gone and over with.
So how long ago did this book first land in shops?
Last
2 weeks.
Last week.
Really? It's gone that fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm right about that. No, it wasn't this past Wednesday. It was the Wednesday prior, right?
Yeah, it was
a week and a half. A week and a half. Yeah.
Week and a half. Wow.
Yep. No, and if you recall, for those that watch Fanboys and actually listen, this actually was a book that I called out a few months ago because I was going through the previews. And I said, hey, just based on the cover alone, you got to pick this book up. And it's like, well, duh, look at that thing. It's not going good on the
Yep, I ordered. So I have 5 total copies of the 1 in 20. I'm giving 2 away. I ordered 40 copies from my LCS for myself because I was like, dude, this is gonna be big. So I ordered 40 copies, and then got the 2 1-in-20s, and then picked up as many more as I could for cover price.
I'll tell you one thing: if I was an LCS Flashpoint, I'd want you to be my customer.
You're right.
Recently they're not happy with me because they're trying to get me to buy. Well, they get huge hauls in because it's Fourth World Comics in New York, and they're bye, Christy. Have a good night. Tell Tim to behave himself. And they're like mad because they were selling me, like I mentioned earlier, the reason why I'm taking a break from comics is because I got into the whole speculation and flipping market, and I was selling books like that whole first appearance of Bane's daughter. I got 12 copies for cover price, and then from a store, and then sold them. Like they're trying to hook me up, and they're like, oh, well, if you buy 30 copies of this book, I'll do. I'm like, dude, I don't want to buy that many books anymore. Like, yeah, I'm specking on the one book, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not trying to rip people off. Like, sell those to customers for cover price if you want the money. Just sell them to people who want them. Don't try to get me to buy your bulk books. And because the wife was pissed. I was spending $350 a week at the LCS. It was getting out of hand. Way too bad.
Yeah. You can pick yourself up a good back issue with that amount of money.
Well, that's what I was doing because they would give me incentives. So they were like, if you buy 25 of these books, so we can get another 1-to-25 ratio, even though you don't like it. Because that's what I did with War of the Bounty Hunters. Because I only wanted the 1-to-25, not the 1-in-50. So they were like, well, if you pick up another 25, that will give us. They're going to send us X amount of 1-in-50s. I'll give you a 1-in-50, and I'll sell you. I picked up. What was it? A Showcase 7 or something. It won a Showcase book. He's like, I'll give you 30% off of this Showcase because you're buying these books. And so he was giving me kickbacks because these books weren't selling off of his wall because everyone was specking on Marvel. So I was like, all right, it benefited me. But I'm like, I'd rather just not have 30 copies of a book because it's like all this the death metal stuff. I have the 1-in-25 cover for every death metal book. So for 1 through 7 and all the tie-ins, I have every single 1-in-25, and I bought 25 copies of every single book so I could get it and help them out. And I'm like, now I have 25 copies of these books. What am I going to do with them? I don't need 25 copies.
And then you realized how terrible that book is. If
really
only you had listened to the fanboys.
You know what? The first 3. Here's my issue. And again, what you're going to get mad, Lasso. Here's my issue with what happened in death metal.
It was all Wonder Woman's fault, wasn't it?
It was. Like they literally made Wally supposed to be the hero. Like they literally set it up that Wally was going to save the multiverse. Wally was supposed to be building up this crisis energy. He was doing everything else, and he was supposed to be the hero. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Wonder Woman is just like, nope, never mind. Wally pushes him out of the way, and then I was like, get out of here. What was the whole point of setting? You were basically using Wally as a battery, and it was ridiculous. I mean, the story
stopped
overall
after issue 2. It was so bad.
So good. It was so good.
No.
All I know is that cover to number 7 was incredible.
It was.
Was that the chainsaw one?
No, that's the one where the Golden Age Wonder Woman and her are touching hands.
Oh, I don't even think I know that one.
Oh, I'll send you a picture of it. That cover is just something.
We remember what the Flash did to us. It happened in the Golden Age and the Modern Age. Don't worry, we're sisters now. It could be sister wives, actually.
Oh dear.
He's so over. Oh, is Batman Who Laughs is in the new Batman Superman run too?
No, he's talking about the old one where he was in. See, but he's not overused because now Batman Who Laughs is dead. So
yeah. Well, so I don't even know what's happening with DC now. Like I don't even know which books are coming out. I'm really starting to scale back on my new books. They're not catching me anymore.
No. Well, that's what I was telling Lasso at the beginning was like I'd cut back. I'd pick up all the Star Wars books because have you been reading War of the Bounty Hunters?
Mm-mm.
Like if you truly love Star Wars, this is what happens between this is how Boba Fett got Han Solo in like the time in between how he got Han Solo into the carbonite.
Oh, okay.
So it's super good, great writing, great art. Like I'm not picking up much. Like the Flash is the only reason why I'm picking up the Flash is so I could still have one of every Flash book. But oh my god, it's awful. I'm like, and now it feels like with all of these books now with Future State, like it's this weird mix of, especially with the Flash. Like, well, now we already told people that Wally's going to be the new Flash, but we still want Barry Allen to be important. So we're going to try and do this in a way where they're both. It's like you can't do that. You literally sent Barry off on some stupid cosmic space patrol police force. Then make Wally the Flash. Like you can't. They've shown this time and time again. You can't have Wally and Barry as the Flash. Joshua Williamson tried it. It was okay. Like the whole Flash War arc was ridiculous. You need to have one or the other. You can't do both. It's proven time and time and again. Just get over it.
It's good. It's a good thing you hold your opinions loosely, though.
Yeah.
So, Fu, what did you ever decide to do? At the beginning of the year, you were so close, and you eventually did finish your Green Lantern Volume 1, and you were trying to figure out what your next step you're going to take is. Did you ever make a decision on that?
Sort of. It's kind of a lazy decision, but I think I'm really just focused on completing some other runs that I did start as backup runs. And I think the one that I really need to start focusing on again is my Amazing Spider-Man. Because I'm so close. Like I think I'm under 100. Like it's starting to get to where Green Lantern was. Now Spider-Man's going to be even worse to go finish, but but in addition to that, I've really been kind of going heavy on the other two big titles in my collection, and that's Batman and Superman. So, but of course, I go after both Batman and Detective, and Superman and Action. So, but I'm having fun with the Copper Age right now. So, really trying to fill in those books because I've got most of the modern for both of them.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's cool. I'm about just under 100 on the original Justice League run.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Chipping away where I can.
Yeah, that's a run I should be focused on because there's so many Green Lantern appearances. But
yeah. And those books aren't, there's a couple keys that are high up there, like 21 and stuff with the first JLA JSA crossover. But for the most part, you can get some decent books there at a decent price.
Yeah. I mean, DC again, it's just not. It hasn't hit the spikes that the Marvel books had, which is fine by me.
Yeah, exactly. Because I only need 3 books for my Justice League run. I need 100 books for my Action Comics run. But one of them I already sold, so I'm not gonna get another one of those books. So I'll probably try to get Action Comics 2 through 10 is my goal, and then my Star Wars. I'm trying to collect all of this Star Wars stuff that I can. I just got that Dark Horse.
You got to check your messages, though. I was standing in front of, I think there was a total when I was all done counting, I think it was like 8 long boxes of Star Wars only. And I was texting you, and I don't think you still haven't read it.
Well, no, because so I'm taking a break from Instagram
Oh.
Yeah. So you gotta text me. You guys have my phone number because the problem, I blocked a bunch of people. And it was like I was telling Lasso. I was like, I felt myself getting sucked into the negativity. Like another one of us did. I felt myself going into the dark side, and I just didn't want to ruin myself with comics because I was tired of everyone. Like, I'm tired of seeing every YouTuber posting videos about spec. The way that you do it is great because you're like, here's my hauls, but oh wait, here's a little bit of spec, not just video week after week or every other day of spec on this, buy this, and it's gonna do this, do that. It's
yeah. If I show you spec, I'm actually buying the book.
Yeah,
and it's very rare that I actually do what I did with Nice House on the Lake. I usually don't go after like a ton of covers like that, especially for new books. But I read that book and I was like, I love this. I believe in this one.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, is that like I'm tired of just like looking at Instagram and it's just like no one is producing. It's either everyone's doing auctions. You don't do them very often, so like, well, you get a pass. But like either most YouTube channels are either doing auctions every. That's all their channel is. There's no other substance. They have 2,000 subs because they're doing auctions. They're not, or they're talking spec. They're not bringing anything like quality to the community. It's the same shit that every other YouTuber is saying. Oh, spec on Amazing Spider-Man 1 because it's going to go up in price. Well, no shit, because it's the first Amazing Spider-Man solo title. Like, of course. Oh, well, look at Action Comics sold for 3.2. Yes, because it's the first freaking appearance of Superman. Like, why? I don't need to hear this every week about how a record sold. Like, yes, these books are far and in between. You're not going to see very many of them in your lifetime. So,
and most of these people, I mean, they don't have much to base it on, right? I mean, it's just kind of a wild guess, right? But they put it out in a way like they're an authority on the subject.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, probably the most of the issue that I have with it. And that's why I always try to say, hey, look, this is just me. I'm an idiot. Like, take it for what you will.
Well, or it's just like movies that, movies releasing, or like they're rumored. It's like Namor. Hopefully you've picked up your Namor the Submariner keys, because they've skyrocketed because apparently Submariner is coming to the MCU. It's like stuff like that. And I'm like, or it's just, I've had enough of it, because, the hobby that I joined, another example is like trading cards. Trading card games aren't trading card games anymore. It's, I'm going to open booster packs until I get a $300 card and sell it. I'm not going to trade it, so that's what all these collecting hobbies have become. And it's gotten a little too much for me.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, Fu, that the one thing that surprised me, not that you would buy that many copies of The Nice House on the Lake, but I knew that you were in it to win it when you just said that you bought CGC copies. And I know. Okay, there's something going on here.
Yeah, I don't buy those. I don't. No. This was just one of those books, and dude, nothing could happen with this book for all I know, right? It could go nowhere. But I had this feeling like I'm gonna regret it if I don't. And I was like, I gotta go with my gut, because it's generally pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So
well, and that's why I bought, because as soon as because I started off with 40 copies. And then when I saw you picking them up, I was like, okay, I gotta buy more. And then I saw them; they're still. I was like, all right, if the computer's going in on this, I'm gonna trust them. So I picked up 4 CGC 9.8 pre-orders.
Oh, don't put this on me.
This is your fault. And then I picked up the 1 in 25. I pre-ordered 2 of those in 9.8s, and then I'm gonna send off the Virgin Blue Crystal Lake variants to get graded, because I want them to get signed, but I don't know if there's going to be a signing soon, because
I don't know.
The hobby is in a weird place right now, and I think it's crazy, because I see the prices of some books dropping, and it's like, is the market finally correcting itself, or is it because that these are books that people have spec'd on that have went nowhere? Like Warlock. I picked up the first appearance of him for super cheap when it was on, the infamous top 10 list a couple weeks ago. And now, so is it the market correcting itself, or is it because everyone thinks that they're making a movie for every fucking character in every universe, that people are just going to buy up keys? Let's just call it what it is.
Right.
And hopefully a movie comes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's some books, and I'm speaking actually more Marvel when I think, with the example I'm going to use, like, Giant Size X-Men is not going to go back down in price that much. It will dip a little bit, but our days of finding that for $750 are gone.
Yep.
And I hate myself for, when it was $750, I'm like, why would I spend $750 on a comic book? Right now, I would buy it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So there is one sitting on the wall at one of my LCSs with a sold tag on it. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at it, and I asked the guy, I said, just out of curiosity, what did it sell for? And I think he said it sold for like something like $1,500, something like that, or maybe it was $1,050. It might have been $1,050. And I remember I looked at him. I said, "What?" I said, "Really?" And he says, "Well, it's a 2.0 raw." Can you imagine? Like, just think back a few years ago for a raw 2.0 at $1,050.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like
So.
X-Men 94. I mean, I should have bought my copy a couple years ago. It was like $115. It was probably a fine or fine minus. $115. And I debated about it, and for whatever reason I didn't do it. And mistake, huge mistake.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, I'm sorry, but I do have to get going. It's dinner time at my house, so it was good seeing you, though.
It was good seeing you.
Wait, real quick. Do they have the first Ahsoka Tano in comics in that long box?
No, I didn't see that.
Dang it, because that's what I'm looking for. That's I'm hunting right now.
A Clone Wars one?
Yeah.
They did have the Age of Republic special, but
how much are they asking for that?
25. Can you believe that?
Damn it.
I don't think it's worth that, though.
You don't think so? Well, you have a good night, Food. Thanks for coming on.
Good to see you.
All right. See you guys.
Take care. And Mike, as we wrap up, is it okay if I do what I pulled for?
Of course, yeah. Do your book show.
Okay. So I actually pulled 2 this time, and there's a reason behind it. Since today, we did the Wally West Flash Wonder Woman team up. I did want to acknowledge 2 other books that found Wonder Woman with Flash. So the Wonder Woman issue that we talked about today was Wonder Woman Volume 2, Issue 214. But if you go back to Wonder Woman Volume 1, Issue 213, you'll see that old Barry Allen was there with her.
That's awesome.
This was the 2nd chapter in the Wonder Woman 12 Labors storyline. It was a really good storyline where after her powers were restored from all those years of being the non-powered Diana Prince, the Justice League wanted her back, but she didn't feel that she was worthy, and she wanted the JLA to watch her and watch her monitor her next 12 assignments to see if she was worthy of still being a JLA member. And so it was Flash's turn in this issue. So I had always hoped that Wonder Woman Volume 2 story, it was in 214. I wish it would have been in 213. So both Wonder Woman Volume 1 and Volume 2 had Flash in them for issue 213. But I also wanted to pull Wonder Woman is teamed up with Jay Garrick, and in Wonder Woman Volume 1, issue number 239. Here she is with Jay Garrick and the Statue of Liberty.
That is freaking beautiful cover.
So this was back in the days when the Wonder Woman TV show, season 1 with Linda Carter, was on the air. And season 1 took place in World War II times, the 1940s. So they set the comic book back to take place during the 1940s as well. Now, season 2 and season 3 jumped up to modern age, the late 70s. But season 1 and the comic books produced at the time that season 1 TV show was out were all 1940 stories. And this has always been one of my favorite covers too.
That's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, it is. So that's what I pull from my book show.
Well, I mean, I think that means we're done, unless you want to retro review another book. Yeah, anything you can do a quick review on something old? You want to?
I'm not ready, but I don't know. Hey, we got Jason in here, Southern Comic Geek. He's got a very important question for you, Flashpoint.
I saw that. No, I'm not. It's just my eyes can't handle light very well. So
yeah. No, I don't think I have one to retro review this time. I don't know what channel the next Fanboys is going to be on either. I know it won't be this channel.
Well, I guess this will be a surprise for everybody. So we'll probably
tune in somewhere. Tune in somewhere to find out where we'll be.
Yeah, we'll announce it on Instagram and everything else. Yeah. Shout out to everybody that came in. I really appreciate it. I haven't been dropping content really. I have content filmed. I've got a closet full of content to open. Just been dealing with life and fun stuff like that. What do you have going on, Lasso?
Let's see. I am dropping a video this week. And actually, I really think, Michael, that you would be interested in this one specific book, even though it's not a Flash book that I'm showing. And it's the book that I put on the thumbnail. I essentially say, what is this? Because it's a Wonder Woman book, but it's from a line that I don't think a lot of people are familiar with or even knew existed.
I'll have to wait and see. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah, that will be coming out Tuesday with some more comic book editions of mine in that video haul. And in the future, I've got a AOK from Varangian Vigilante I'll be opening up, and I have a Half Price Books haul too, where I got some really good deals for $1 a holler.
There we go. That's awesome.
So for those that aren't familiar with me, you can search for Magic Lasso and sub me up. I'm on the path to 500. I'm really not all that far away. So please help me get to that road. I certainly appreciate everyone who's supported the channel so far and always has kind feedback and words for me. So
yeah, sub him up. He always producing good content.
Thank you.
Now that we know what his face looks like, the community is going crazy. Let's get him to 1,000 by the end of the year. His content is good. He's doing wholesome content for the community. He's providing stuff that, you know, not everybody does. It's not the same old slop that everyone's producing. So if you see this on a rerun, thank you guys very much for coming. Ride the lightning. Thank you guys for coming and enjoying the show with us.
Yep. Have a good night, everyone.